are into it for real. You are into
it
for real.
You know you're into it.
The other thing, and this is also an element of timing, if a teenager, 20-something male started watching a show like this in 1985, he would be absolutely certain he was the only man on earth watching it. He would be afraid to talk to anyone about it because they'd all laugh at him.
Basically, he'd be labeled as decay.
The difference now is the same reason we have Rule 34. No matter, even if you are such a pervert that only 50 people on earth share your fetish, you can find a web forum where those 50 people hang out. So you think I'm the only person who's noticed this show is great. I'm going to go online and find hundreds of other people who love this show. Thousands of other people who like this show, who are 20-something males. And that gives you the confidence, the peer support, to go to your real-life friends and say, this show is awesome. Look at this message board thread. Everybody agrees this show is awesome. You should watch this show. Look at this hilarious PMV related to a show you already like that ties in with this show, you know?
The Equestrian Daily is basically that. Like, fandom example. And how we grow. I mean, didn't they just celebrate, what, 1 million hits or 2 million hits? Or
like
what?
17 million or something?
17 million? Oh, God. I remember when it was like barely anyone knew about it.
So, that is my pet theory on bronies.
All right. Now we're going to, basically, the world. This is a really good example of world building. Basically D&D style.
Half the monster manual is in this show.
This is the coast. It came in handy. And you can notice that there's a lot of references to real-life architecture in each thing. First, we'll start with Clydesdale, which is the most obvious. It has Greek features, a bit of Palladian features. Now, Palladio was an architect from the Renaissance who took a lot from ancient Roman and Greek. And this is why Washington, D.C. looks basically all like that, because Thomas Jefferson was a Palladio fanboy. Clydesdale has both of those influence from Palladio, as well as just ancient Greek, but you also see a lot of Disney Mount Olympus in there. Have you ever seen Hercules?
Mm-hmm. Also worth noting, Pegasi are a Greek myth. Greek architecture for the Pegasus city.
Yeah, and you can tell this in even their clothes, some of their culture. Their Colosseum is just the biggest tip-off. Even Rainbow Dash's outfit for Best Night Ever was that type of draping.
We accidentally skipped the slide for something else. We cannot be ready for that. We accidentally skipped the slide for Canterlot. Oh, cool, we got it.
All right, now Canterlot, Disney Castle, is the first thing that comes to mind. But right next to it is St. Basil's Cathedral in Moscow. It's a really famous building. You can tell a lot of influence by the tips of their towers, how they're really rounded, different patterns, different colors, and it's like a candy castle. I can't help but look at the picture and think I need to eat it. Now, with Canterlot, they did stick with the royal color of purple as one of the main colors because in history, purple was a very hard dye to make. You made it from snails. That's really expensive, and that's only royalty can, well, wear it. I mean, even black, too, as well. Getting to that, but that's actually a good point. Sun is yellow, but I'm also going for gold, another thing that royalty is associated with, having large amounts of it.
Actually, bringing up the rarity of dye, in China, yellow is the color of royalty because of saffron being used to make dye. And it was mixed with hospitals in yellow or yellow dye.
Oh, I didn't think about the saffron. Thank you, man. Yeah.
And also worth noting, this is medieval style architecture. This is a city of mostly unicorns. Unicorns are primarily a medieval European myth.
Yeah, we're getting all mythical and historical up in here. Now, this Ponyville is kind of a mishmash. You have like the peasant houses with the straw roofs, which I can't see how straw roofs work. and rains. Then again, when you have people controlling the weather.
Also, building a roof out of hay is the Tony equivalent of building a roof out of candy.
Until you get burninated.
Why has no one made this PMB yet?
Someone make a PMB with Trogdor.
Oh my god.
But you do have a mixture of styles. Like you got country cottages, such as Fluttershy's house. You got little buildings. You see here, you got buildings that look like joke shops and tents and stuff. Kind of like a medieval fantasy land. But you also got this building right here that looks very early 1800s in its style. Like maybe a little bit post-Victorian. And then you also have people living in a tree. Well, ponies living in a tree. A tree.
I see nothing wrong with that.
We get to the conclusion that this is Disneyland. Woo! Now, you have other towns such as Appaloosa. It's the Wild
Manhattan.
West. You got Manhattan, which is really old New York, or as you call it,
Like 1930s Art Deco New York. It's movie New York. It's musical New York.
it's old Hollywood New York. And then you can only assume by the way they treated this, and the fact that it got overrun by parasites, that Philadelphia must be the only equivalent of a ghetto. Born and raised.
Should have been Detroit.
Only Detroit. Someone think of a point.
Detroit.
This panel has been won.
Hey, anybody can afford it.
Oh god.
So, woo! Sakura is also one of my favorites. Sadly, she doesn't get enough fan appreciation.
Season 2.
Huh?
Maybe season 2.
Maybe season 2. We can only hope. But
I want to see the epic magical battle between Sakura and Trixie.
Oh.
tell me about that show. Make this happen. Now, you know there's other cultures outside of Equestria. We have Sakura, which basically represents a pony Africa. Ponyfrica. Zebraca. I don't know. Zebraca is Africa. Now, some people were like, why didn't they just make a black-colored pony? Because that would work. But I am against that because, one, zebras are an animal of Africa. So you could have a zebra pony. To make it just a black-colored pony or just not have Sakura is almost like denying that there's an entire another race out there. It's almost like denying there's an entire another continent in this world as well. An entire other people, you know? It would be nice if they made her a bit less, you know, I'm from Africa, I have all these masks and I do voodoo magic and stuff.
Voodoo is African.
Yeah.
Caribbean.
It's hated. It's
She's an
hated.
evil enchantress, and she does evil enchantress. Supposedly. But, yeah,
So,
I'm glad they made her a zebra, because that's a really important thing. And in that whole episode, they're really going along that line of race, and it's a very thin line to going too offensive, to not offensive. Like, a lot of people found Rarity's reaction kind of offensive. I took it less offensive, and some people were like, oh, but they're cartoon ponies. So why does it matter? And in fact, she's a zebra. Yes, just to get that out of the way while we were talking about world building. Which brings us to ASOS.